Our final guest today is one of the most esteemed theatre and television actresses the UK has ever produced. She's worked alongside acting luminaries such as Sir Ian McKellen and Dame Judi Dench, to name just a few. Her latest role is a ruthlessly intimidating QC in the acclaimed courtroom drama series Silk. Intriguing. Please welcome Frances Barber. Yes, we like her.
Well, I've just been giving Joe Calzaghe acting lessons.
He's
lovely, isn't he? He's absolutely lovely.
Yeah. Did you smell him on the way out?
He did. Yeah. Did he smell different on the way in?
Well, no. Waft in, waft out.
He smelled of fear when he left after walking past David. So you're Caroline Warwick, QC.
That's right.
This is your first appearance.
This is my second appearance in it.
This is the second episode.
Second episode, yes. And the first series, which stars Maxine Peake, Rupert Penry-Jones, who you just saw there, and Neil Stooke, is all about a young barrister who comes to London who actually is trying to get Silk, become a QC. She does, Rupert doesn't, so there's quite a lot of sort of animosity between them. And she then, finally, we start the second series, which I come as a new character, and I am an old, hardened QC called that. My nickname is Lady Macbeth, and the character develops as the series progresses in a way that I can't reveal too much, but, you know.
She's ruthless, ambitious.
Has she changed?
We see a side to her that we're not aware of initially, in that she appears to be completely together. She knows exactly how to handle the position that she's in, because remember, she's a woman of a certain age in a man's world, and she says, she's very upfront, she says to Martha in the very first episode that we see them together, look, some women in the bar think that I'm not sisterly because I am nice to you out of court, but in court I'm vicious. So she's got to, she has to win. That's people's lives are on the line. It's not just because of her own sort of narcissism. It's actually she's, you know, upholding the law.
Do you think there's a moral element to this as well, about barristers upholding the law and, you know, representing just anybody and...
Well, I suppose, I mean, she is a prosecuting counsel, and the story of Silk so far is that they are much more interested in defending people in Shoe Lane. That's why she's goading Rupert at that point, and she's saying, if you walk into Silk, if you prosecute, you can walk into Silk, so come on my side.
Right.
Which obviously, in, you know, good and evil, but, you know, as sort of the baddies.
We know what you're after there, don't we?
Well, she tries to seduce Martha in the first episode.
I saw it. I thought you little minx. Hey, listen, whatever floats your boat, I'm not judging. Anyway,
she's binary, I think.
Does she... how much research did you do for this, though, Frances?
Well, I actually went to the Old Bailey quite a lot. I went to the Royal Courts of Justice, and I was quite surprised, actually, in that I read online that you weren't allowed to take your keys and your phone and this, that and the other, and it seemed rather sort of strict. And I'd been to the gym. I got all my gear with me, and I passed the Royal Courts of Justice, and I thought, well, I'm going to try and ask them what I can take and what I can't. And he recognised me from Doctor Who, the security man. And he went, are you going to play a barrister? Oh, come in. You can go into any court you like. Any problems, come back to me, I'll tell you. I said, but what about my gym gear? Take it in, turn your phone off, doesn't matter. And there you can. And it is quite extraordinary. You can go into all these different courtrooms. Similarly, at the Old Bailey, it's our prerogative, our right as citizens of the country, which is marvellous. And when you do see those lawyers in action, I mean, they are so eloquent and articulate.
Well, they're actors, aren't they?
Well, she actually says in Peter Moffat's brilliant script, the lines he's given my character are so marvellous, in which she says, you know, I don't say that word, Lady Macbeth, in here because we are actors and this is a theatre.
Did you actually speak to any barristers or QCs? Did you speak to them and ask them about their conscience? And because you're making the point there to him that, you know, sometimes you know these people are guilty, but you have to defend them, and you defend them. And I just, you know, I often wonder, how do they sleep at night? Did you speak to anyone about that?
Yes, I did speak to a couple that I knew personally, and it is ultimately, and it's a job, and it is about the law. And, you know, they do present the facts to the jury. It isn't as if they're saying, I am now on this person's side. They present the facts, and it is up to those 12 men and women to make the decisions. So that's what they would say, and they would say that it's I'm
the
just
best
all I'm
performance
doing.
on the day.
Yeah, all I'm doing is presenting
Giving you the facts, and you make your own minds up. You mentioned there about her being, you know, that she's had to kind of fight her way in a little bit in a man's world, and that she's older than the QCs coming up behind her. And we were talking earlier about this ageing process. You know, is it a crime to get older, and particularly for women? Have you felt that in your industry as well? That
well, I did do an interview a couple of weeks ago. You might have seen.
You saw the headline.
Oh, dearie me. I foolishly made a joke in print, and you can't do that. We know anymore, you know. It. Had a man said he was having an operation to put 2 inches on his appendage, I don't think it would have even got a footnote.
No.
But because I talked about saving up for a facelift, which was supposed to be a joke, but I was trying to make an important, I think, an important point in that we're now on that trajectory. Everyone has had something done that works in television or in film or whatever. Everyone's had their teeth fixed. Everyone's had a little bit of this, that and the other. And I was sort of lamenting the fact that we'll never get to see on screen nanas, what I call nanas faces, like Betty Davis, like Jessica Tandy, Peggy Ashcroft.
We're shocked when we see it, aren't we now?
We so rarely do. It's usually black and white movies that we can't... And I was sort of lamenting that fact, but I was also trying to point out that I'm not a hypocrite, so therefore I'm not going to say, but I won't also be prone to actually succumbing under this kind of pressure and thinking about it. So I did say, so I'm saving up for my facelift.
there you are.
Which
That's cleared up. It started as a joke, it became a headline. Well, listen, we think you look terrific. Silk tonight, BBC One, 9 o'clock. Thank you very much, Frances Barber.
Thank you very much.